I'm going to start with a quick review of some things we saw last time. A guitar is a standing wave on a string system. I have a string which is fixed at this end and it's fixed at this end, and if I pluck it, I set up standing waves on the strings, and the frequency is determined by the mass of the string and the tension in the string, and there's some relationships that deal with this which you can take a look at in the chapter. But let's think about the standing wave modes on the string. For a wave on a string, there's a sequence of possible resonant modes. Given what you know about these modes, answer the following question. A guitar string is vibrating with the lowest mode, m equals 1, at 200 hertz. What are the frequencies of the next two modes, m equals 2 and m equals 3? We'll give you some choices. If you look at the pattern of modes that we have, you can see that the higher order modes are multiples of the fundamental frequency for a string which is fixed at both ends. And so we have 200 hertz is the m equals 1 mode, m equals 2 and m equals 3 are 2 times 200 hertz and 3 times 200 hertz, or 400 hertz and 600 hertz. Well, when I pluck this string, I excite all the standing wave modes at the same time. So there's this one, which is the lowest frequency mode, that's m equals 1. There's also m equals 2, and I can make m equals 2 if I touch the string ever so gently. I can make this position be a mode, and so I've got m equals 2, which is a higher pitch. Or if I touch it here, I can have m equals 3. Or if I touch it here, m equals 4. So I have m equals 1, m equals 2, m equals 3, and m equals 4. And in fact, I've got a whole bunch of different modes. When I pluck the string, I get all the modes at the same time. And what gives a guitar its specific sound is the amount of those different frequencies that are present. Those upper frequencies we call harmonics. And in the book, we show the distribution of those higher harmonics that gives the particular sound of a guitar. If you have a trumpet, it's got a very, very different mix of harmonics. But now we want to come back to your vocal tract. When you talk, sound comes through these two folds of flesh in your throat, and it makes sound. They vibrate with a particular frequency. They're vibrating like a wave on a string, and when they do that, they make a mix of different harmonics. But the harmonics are filtered by the resonances of your vocal tract, which we can think of as being a tube. So I've got standing waves on a string, and they're filtered by a resonant cavity. And in fact, that's what happens with the guitar. This is a cavity that amplifies certain frequencies. And so it affects the sound of the guitar as well. So your vocal system, I'm making frequencies here. They're changed by the resonances of the vocal tract. Now, in fact, you use this to produce different sounds. As we'll see in the book, there are certain broad resonances of your vocal tract that are called formants. You use those formants to define particular vowel sounds. Now let's see how this works. I have this device here, it's called the nose flute. I blow air out of my nose through this opening right here, and it comes out here, and what it does is it plays my vocal tract like a flute. And as I change the shape of my vocal tract, I change the resonant frequencies, and so I can get different notes. And you can actually learn to play a song on this, but I get different frequencies as I change the shape of my vocal tract. If I open it up, I get low frequencies. If I close it like that, I get higher frequencies. And by changing the shape, I can adjust the frequencies of the formants. And in fact, when I'm talking, I'm changing the shape of my vocal tract to pick out different frequencies of the standing wave modes of my vocal cords. And so I'm amplifying certain frequencies, I'm reducing the intensities of others, and that's how you tell the difference between different vowel sounds. The ultimate example of this is the artificial larynx unit. The artificial larynx unit makes this buzzing sound. In fact, this sound is very similar to the sound of your vocal cords. It makes a buzz, and it makes a mix of different frequencies. The frequencies are selected by the formants of your vocal tract. But in fact, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put this sound into my vocal tract. The resonances of my vocal tract will pick out different frequencies, and so I can make intelligible speech from this.
And now my vocal tract is amplifying certain frequencies and it's reducing the intensity of others, and you're still able to hear what I'm saying and interpret my speech.
Oh yeah, and that's the ultimate example of a standing wave system, is your vocal system. And that's what we use to finish chapter 16. Next, we're going to turn to another type of wave, light waves.